All right, welcome in. Sorry I had to change the schedule up. Beth's been going to work out with me at the gym. So after we go work out, we go eat at the Applebee's. So that's kind of throwing off my week so far. Next week, hopefully I'll be back to normal. And then we just got out of the Piggly Wiggly after we worked out. And I had to get me a 4-pack of Reese's peanut butter cups. And that's why I was turning the camera off so I could eat those. I mean, you talk about wolfing them. Well, I was wolfing them. So I'm working out, but I'm eating more candy, which is typical me. All right, welcome in, everybody. So listen, it's only been, what, 2 or 3 days since I officially called the bear market right here. This is where I called the bear market, right? And what happened since then? Gap, 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 up, right? The death cross is still in play for those who are worried about that. So what I'm thinking this is, I may be wrong, is we would call this a bull trap probably, right? And the bulls are like, oh, we're back to bacon, baby. We're back to it. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. But what do I know? Now remember, if we get above this, we can get back into my U Pro, my TQs, and all this. If we get above our 200-day moving average. Beth, are you printing something on my printer? Posting me a message. Oh, it's the softball schedule for my kids. Give me this. All right, so that's that. Let's look at the market for the day. Look, we're up another percent in the E-minis. I just took NASDAQ off since I crushed my TQQs. I don't even need to look at NASDAQ right now, unless y'all want to look at it. Let me get my little thingy-majig here so I can have my little circle. So the market's up really, really big. The AD is strong again at 312. And we're just, chilling out with AD. So anytime you see that little green dot, that means it's made a high of the day. So then we backed off and now we're headed back upward. And we're above everything, right? We're above the overnight high, which is this. And that has served as an area of support. We're above VWAP, we're above the hourly mid, we're above the opening 15-minute range, and then the white little line is where we open for the day. So very, very, very strong day today. Now, yesterday I was feeling so good because I left on my SPX call trade. Y'all remember that? And man, the market started going down. I was like, oh man, I'm such a genius. And then I even posted in the room, right? Look, Bobby Genius. And y'all know basically anything that I say go against me. So I basically said, what's our live stuff? Here we go. I basically said, look at this. Come at me, bro. Call me a blind squirrel. And then it wasn't 30 minutes later. Yeah, actually 31 minutes later. And then the market rebounds and the blind squirrel has to roll his position. So I did have to roll out my call credit spread on SPX. And what I did also is I put on another Rick trade too, and I put it on the put side, right? So we'll see what that looks like in a minute. And I'll tell you kind of what my plan is to defend that. Yesterday, what we actually considered is, someone asked me the question, hey, Bob, why not just go all in on the 111 trade? It's so spectacular. And my basic defense to that was, well, we like to have a couple of strategies going, right? Not just one. But I certainly couldn't fault anybody for going just with the 111. It's just been so strong. And what's been so great about the 111 is it's been strong in such a turbulent market, which that's what you want. So the 111 in regular markets was doing just fine as well. And then we have the turbulence of 2022. And that has been the trade that has been the superstar. It really, really has. So we'll look at maybe doing more toward that trade as we go on. So first thing I want to look at though is the SPX trade. So let's go to the curve and show you what we currently have on. So here's what we've got on. We've essentially, well, it's not essentially, it is, we've got an iron condor, right? And this is what our iron condor currently looks like. So the one that I put on the put side, I look like Bobby Genius now because that one looks really, really, really good going into expiration tomorrow. So we've got this nice profit hump here. Unfortunately, these calls just, I mean, it's just blown right past it. So what could you do? When we think about, we could different things that we could do. A couple things that you could do, and we'll just play with this and kind of talk it out. What could we do to kind of defend this? Well, I don't think we do anything today, but we might could do something tomorrow. And what we could do is try to shift our profit hump here, that's all the way down here, to the right side, right? So how would that look? Now, by doing so, you're going to put additional risk in place, but let's look at it for a second. So let's say we've got, there's the AM, here's the, oh man, I need to log out, it looks like, because that looks like it's 2 days. This should be Friday, right? And it says 2 days. Let me log out of this and log back in. Someone let the dog in. Can't stand it when they're scratching my door to pieces. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And then my rabbit died. I'm upset about my little bunny dying. I love Bun Bun. Bun Bun was such a sweet rabbit. Who knows what happened? Woke up the other day and Bun Bun was kicking funny, and next thing you know, Bun had gone on to glory. We think Bun was a little boy. Well, we're not exactly sure. And I'm not about to do an autopsy or anything like that. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, we got the 1 day. So let's see what our little curve looks like again. Make sure everything is looking right. Analysis, not on SPY, Bob, on SPX, dude. Yeah. Here's our little iron condor, right? We just blown out past there. I sold this one for $1. So what could we do? What could we do to move our little hump to the right side? Well, we could roll this up, right? I'm gonna roll that closer, or we could add risk to the downside. So let's just look at something. And we're just playing now, just playing. Let's go to this 1 day and let's look at putting short put vertical in place. And if we did another 20Y, right, now we could look at it this way. Let's see what that looks like. Wowzers. Okay, so let's move our strikes down. That's what I really like about the Tastyworks platform, is it allows us to see what this would do by putting additional risk on the downside. All right, we're getting a little to do, aren't we? So there's about where I would get $1 there. And you sit there and go, what if we add some quantities to this, so that you basically are adding risk to the downside. See what it does? It adds a little risk to the downside, of course. But you could actually take this thing out here and make it to where, I mean, we're just playing. We're not doing any of this. But what if we did this? I mean, you can see what I'm saying? You can keep taking on risk. Now, of course, you got a buying power efficiency of $19,000. You put 10 contracts in here, right? But you certainly can level it out to where, this could be a $177 winner at expiration. Problem is, you don't want to put that risk on there of, what, $20,000 there. It's a lot of risk. So, you can, that's the cool thing about this trade, though, is there's different things you could do if you put one on. Now, what we could do, let's clear that. See what could happen if we took this one. Gosh, if I took this one, how do you grab those puppies? Let's see if we rolled onto the same thingamajig here. Roll these from there's my puts. Take that one and that one, and you do a quick roll, but you roll on to the same expiration, right? And then you roll on up to the 41.85, 41.90, So isn't that kind of cool that you kind of roll them up and you collect additional credit? I mean, we could certainly do that. Now let's see if it'll let us look at that on this. Yeah. All right. So then you go, what if we buy those back, roll those up? What would this look like? Let's pull this down. Don't get too fancy with it, but let's see if we move our strikes that away or that away, that away, that away. Hold on, I'm just playing. We're closing the 41.70. We're doing that. I'll see what I'm doing. We're moving that up, moving it up, moving it up. So there's different things you can do, right? So we're moving that profit tent closer in to our little calls over here. So, and collecting credit. And that's the wonderful thing about this is you can just play with it and say, hey, if we move those strikes up, like that, what would it look like? I'm just looking what it does at our little structure there. Isn't that cool? And we've gone too far to do anything. It's just kind of cool that you can play with it like that. Just say, okay, let's move our profit tent up there. We'll close the width of the profit tent, but make it even more profitable if we were to hit in that area. So that's something you could do as well. So I'm not certain if there's anything that I'll do today. I might roll this up a little bit because that's what you do, right? You roll the untested side. The problem is when you're doing spreads, it makes it just a little bit more difficult to do it. But the cool thing is you can play with this stuff, right? And you can say, well, I moved my puts up since the market's been raging up today. And you still see that you're way up here. And then if you get a pullback tomorrow, you can actually come into that little profit zone. But for today, I don't think I'll do anything. I think, and that's the problem when you're in a bear market. And if you guys are getting the daily report from Scott Rubel, now if you're getting his daily report, he makes a notice of it. He says what happens in a bear market is you'll get, down, pop to the upside. So you'll get these severe pops to the upside, which is what we've been getting for the last 3 days. And, it tricks the bears into thinking that it tricks the bulls into thinking that the bear market is over. So everybody goes, yay, it's back to normal. And then it just kills them. It just kills the bear because we start gliding back down again. And I think that's what we're currently in now. So the issue is with these calls now, we rolled them yesterday. I was able to collect additional credit. I mean, you can't roll them now. Let's look at it. Don't think there's a way that we could possibly roll them because it's fully in the money. So if you take your call and you do a quick roll, you're not going to be able to get any credit on it at all if you rolled it out in time. It's just a net debit. So you roll out to the same strikes for a 4-day expiration, expiring on Monday, you're going to have to pay $1.40 debit. So it's really, really hard to roll something again once it's fully in the money. And you can add, what's this? I doubt this will go down at all. If we add expiration to it, see, we'll go to 6 days. That's not helping. 245, 285, but we're still having to pay even more debits by going out in time. So there's really nothing that we can do with this thing other than perhaps adding risk to the downside, which I'm not at all certain that I want to do that. But we'll see what the market looks like tomorrow. So let's not focus too much on the SPX trade. Let's focus on the money trade. And the money trade has been our little MES trade. So let's say our MES is doing for the day. Now here, I think we've got all of them to the put side, and we've got some to the call side, right? So we've got some call side here. And I'm not entirely sure that we'll always be able to do them to the call side. Not entirely sure at all. But we're able to now, because the volatility is so high, we're able to really put those up really, really, really good. So let's see. We're down $17 on the day on our little MES trades, but let's do one. So probably if we're looking at my deltas, we're negative deltas, we're negative vega, and we're negative theta. So we need to, I would say probably just based on our deltas and our vega, I'm probably going to put one to the downside on the put side. So even though it's an up day, we've already got negative deltas, so I don't think there's a need to put one to the upside. Let's put one on the downside. Right, so here we go. And we'll go out closest to 45 days without going over. We'll do one on the put side, so we'll do a short put or long put vertical. And remember, we're doing these 50 wide. And we're going to scooch that down so that we're going to pay for about $10. Right now, that one's at $17.25. So we're going to roll our strikes down until this gets down to $10. $10. But, well, 975, we'll roll that up to 10, and we'll get it filled there. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, baby, fill me. Come on. Come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come on. Aren't you feeling? Let that work a minute. Then we'll go down here, and since it's a big up day, we might do a 112. So 112, if we could get past this 2 standard deviation, which I think that is here, and we could collect, we need to collect, at least $20, double what we paid for the thing. So if we could collect $25, hey, I'm liking that better. So let's do 2 of those. See if we get filled for $12.50. Premium we do. So let's move this up to 10.25. Fill. I'm trying to think it's going to fill any moment at 10, but no. Come on, fill. All right. So remember, we had negative 49 delta, so that gives us negative 44 delta. So that entire trade gives us about a positive 5 delta, gives us a little vega, and it gave us about 7 on theta. So I'm perfectly fine with that. So let's go and put that in this account as well. Let's see, which one is this? I need to put it in this one. After I've got all these accounts combined, it's hard for me to keep up with them all. So let's go and trade our micros. And what were those strikes? They were the 41.90, 41.40, 41.90, 41.40. So we'll do a put debit spread. And then we're going to look at how much buying power all of these things are taking, because that's kind of what we want to do, is to, start putting more and more of our capital into the 111. It's such a great little trade. So that's 10. We got to go down and sell something where we can collect about 20 or so. Just go to the 3,600, 6 delta, and then we'll do 2 of those. Right, so it's a 112 trade. So we'll get filled. Yeah, baby. All right, so that's a 112. So let's go back over here. Let's look at our Greeks. First of all, let's say 112, 112 fourth, 112 first, 112 second. So it looks like this is going to be the 112 fifth. Put them in our little groups, just easy to keep up with them. Move to group, add group 112 fifth. All right, now let's look at our overall groups. All right, Bob. Take my groups off. So we are at a negative delta, which is good because we are bearish. Negative theta. Wow, that must be because of my, what is that because of? My SPX trade? I guess so, because it's fully in the money. That is really, really terrible. Vega is fine. And anything else? Let's just see. Looking okay. So I'm going to see how much is our thingamajigs taking up in buying power. So it's taking up $4,500 in buying power. So how many of those do we have on? 111 or 112. So let's just kind of see. So we can kind of project out how many of these things we can do. So we're using $4,500 of buying power for our 111s and 112s. And we have on 1, we have 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 of those. So those are taking about $450 of buying power a piece, right? So that'll kind of help me to go. I'd kind of like to have 30 of these on, right? So if I had 30 of these on, how much buying power would that be? $13,500, right? Which seems about right. So if I could get 30 of them on and then start peeling one off per day, that's kind of what I'd like. Because that was what we did with our, remember when we would do the short put every day and we manage the short put, we put one on, we take off the most profitable. We put one on, take off the most profitable. And that makes really, really good sense of doing this as well. So I kind of like doing that, especially when it gives us something that looks like this. So something that looks like this, even on the call side, even on the terrible call side, right? So you see you got this nice little pump to the downside. We build the little, I haven't drawn it in a while. For those of you that are new, let me draw it. I call it a whale. Some people call it an elephant. I'm here. Where's my thingamajig? Where's my darn, where's my drawer? Here. Draw my whale. See him? Fishtail there. Eye. And a little beautiful little profit hump to the downside. So our break even is right at the, our break even is at the 30, what is that? 33.80 or so. And we're currently at 43.79. How far down is that? Out of the money. 43.79. 43.79 minus 33.80. About our downside break even is 999 points from the money. Are you kidding me? Is that right? 43.79. Let me do it again. That just sounds, I mean, how is that possible? 43.79. And let's see, there's my break even. Y'all see, I'm not making this up. It's at the 33.80. Let's do the math again. Seems almost too good to be true, though. So we're at 43.79. Break even is at 33.80. 999. So if we had a 999 point drop, what percentage drop is that on an index that is at 43.80? Let's just check. Divided by 43.80. That's a 22% drop, y'all. Now, keep in mind that the drop that we had during the Corona crash was 35%. But right now, we've got a nice little buffer to the downside of 22%. Wow, that's just incredible. So, yeah, I still think, you know, you can do your black swan hedges, you can do your other hedges. Or you could say, you know, if crap hits the fan, I'll go short a few micro futures, but that's really impressive, especially when you think the 1987 drop. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the 1987 drop was about 24, 25%. The Corona crash, February, March 2020, was about 35% drop. So our break even to the downside is at 20, 22% down. I like that a lot, especially when we're going to start taking some of that risk off from some of those trades as well to build that little profit hump to the downside. So it's really just the 111 has just been a spectacular trade. Yeah, I definitely believe in allocating more resources to it. Let's look to the upside, see how bad we are to the upside. So here's what I like about it too. Now, if you don't put on any calls at all, this stays flat and you have zero risk to the upside. But I kind of like it because, you know, our break even here is what, 47.94. 47.94. How many points away is that? 47.94, 47.94 minus 43.82. 382 is 412 point break even to the upside. And I get it. If you don't want to put on the call side at all, again, I'm not sure that we can always put them on the call side. The only reason I think that we can now is because volatility is so high. We're getting two-sided markets. These are pretty good. But I like this, right? So that the little profit zone goes into a hump here before we, you know, start to lose money there. So I don't know. It's just kind of a cool little thing. Now, ideally, what we said is that on an up day, you know, it's probably better to do the call side if you want to do a call side, because you know you can get farther away on that call. And what you'll do by putting it on the call side is we'll move that break even farther out, right? By selling that naked call even farther out than the ones that we put on yesterday. Now, I don't want to talk about this too much, but again, if you think that we're getting two-sided markets, there is a way to optimize this. And on an up day, yeah, especially if you think we're getting two-sided, which I think we're really, really getting two-sided markets. So on an up day, you can break these things down too, right? So on an up day, that's when you can sell your naked call, right? So you could sell your negative two calls here as part of your 111. Then you could buy a put spread. So sell the call, buy a put spread on an up day. Now we're getting a little cute there, but it's something to at least think about. And I think I'm going to do some of these every now and then. I think you know, because I'm relatively certain we're going to get the two-sided market in different areas. It's going down, it's going up. So if I want to optimize it, sell the call on an up day. Why? I can get this call farther out of the money. Why would you buy a put spread on an up day? Well, think about it. You're going to get a put spread that is closer to the money. So if I'm able to buy a put spread, what does that do? That means I'm making my little profit hump go up a little sooner, right? By being able to move it out this way. Then let's say that you get a nice good old down day tomorrow. What do you do then? Well, you complete these. So on a down day, you would buy your call spread, call dip spread, and you would sell your naked put for 20 on a big down day. And then you match them up with, you know, whichever one that you did it with. And do I want y'all doing that? Not necessarily. It's just something to think about. If you're optimizing the trade, that's how you optimize it. Now, by doing that, what are you doing? By buying your put spread on a down day, you're increasing the hump earlier because you're able to put that call put spread closer to the money if you buy this on an up day. And if you do this on let's see, update, we're going to sell the naked put, buy the call spread. Yep. And on a down day, you're able to move your risk or your break even to the left by selling that naked put on a big down day. Isn't that cool? Cool. That's the great thing that options give us, right? It just gives us so many cool things that we're able to do. Any questions about that at all? Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about increasing my capital allocation to the 111 trade because it's just been such a resilient trade. If you want to combine that with the Black Swan hedge, do so. I don't think the VIX hedge is appropriate to put on now. The VIX is too high. I don't think it's going to do you much good to invest in that. But really, you know, with what we've got on in 111, we're kind of already hedged to a 22% down move. It's beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, good session today. Hope you're having a great day. And if you got any questions, just shoot me a thing in Discord. And otherwise, I will see y'all tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Bye, y'all.